guys, welcome back. I wanted to do a video today on showing you what I do with the horses when it's raining. We've had hail, thunder, and rainstorms the last few days, and it is muddy, and I don't want to get the round pen muddy, and got Boog in the background. You'll see he still has a lot of hay. I gave him extra hay last night because we have one bale over there that's not being covered because we don't have a spare tarp, and it's just got a couple flakes left, so it's getting wet in the rain. So he's been getting quite a bit of extra, just because if you feed him just soaked hay and you give him their normal amount, all that soaked hay doesn't have as much nutrients. So I kind of give him extra as a filler. I mean, he's got enough left for the night, and then tomorrow he'll be on a fresh dry bale. So yeah. You see his face, he's got stickers all over in it. Once a night we've been turning him loose in the big field to let him run and play. He doesn't have as much strength in his back end, so I took him up on the hill last night and turned him loose, and on the way up he kind of bobbled a little bit and slid and didn't really have his balance, and it spooked him. And so he ran up to the top, losing his balance. And then it started thundering and hailing really, really bad, and I was calling to him, and at first I thought he was coming down because of lightning and thunder, because it was freaking horrible last night. And I thought he was coming down because of the lightning and thunder, not because of me calling him, so I stopped calling him. Every time I stopped calling him, he went back up. As soon as I started calling him, he started coming down, so he's figuring out how to come to me really good. And so he came halfway down. I wanted him to come get his food, and I was going to lock him in for the night. And he came halfway down and he slipped a little bit and it spooked him, and he stood back up there, and by the time he did come down, he looked like he had like a 2-hour shower. That's how soaking wet he was. So he's all dry and good now. I kept an eye on him until like 2 o'clock this morning, then I finally went back to bed. Gave him extra hay, made sure he was dry, wasn't shaking and cold. But I'm gonna comb all that stuff out later when it's not raining, because my combs and stuff are over there. I don't feel like getting soaking wet. So we're gonna do some groundwork with him. I have a few friends in person that want to ride him, and they keep bugging, let's ride him, let's ride him, let's ride him. You can get on a horse and just break him in that way. I don't agree with it. I think if you can set him up for success, you should. If you guys have seen him, he bucks. I don't want to get bucked off. We're not at that point yet. So before I ride him, I want to be able to pick up his feet. I want to be able to back him up without having to jerk the crap out of him. If you guys seen in the videos, I start off slow and then he doesn't respond. He just kind of throws his head up sideways, and I have to get really rough with him to get him to back up. I want to be able to flex him, so if he goes to take off running, I have my run, rein, stop. I want to be able to mess around with the space in his ears. He's like, what? Yeah, we're going to mess with your face. On a day that it's not raining and all this, I'm going to put the bit on him and leave him in this area and give him some hay. That's what we did with Skyla and Rose to get him used to the bit. We just put him in a small area, kept an eye on him, checked on him every 25-30 minutes for like 2 hours, and then we took it off and just left the bit on while they were eating to let them get used to the bit. A lot of people say you shouldn't let them eat with the bit. I mean, we do. We don't care if our horses eat with the bit. But my point about the hill was that he's going to be a mountain horse, and he's going to be a trail horse, a hunting horse, so he's got to get used to the mountains. If I were to get on him right now, I wouldn't be able to ride him on the mountains. He needs that leg strength. Because with the way he bobbled last night, if I try to ride him up that hill like that, we're both going to go down the hill. So some people just get on him and push him. I don't think he's ever been on a hill before. So we're going to work on flexing, getting him soft. This is what we do on rainy days. We stay under the shelter right here. This is on the other side of the round pen that you guys have seen. And we work in this little area. I mean, if it's really, really, really cold, we'll bear the rain and go across. And if you guys... Again, I can't remember if you guys have seen the videos of the girls being started in that big barn. I don't think you have. Leave a comment down below. I tried to find them online, but I couldn't, so I don't think you have. But it's the barn that I have to go down and around to feed the girls in that way. And the girls are gone, but that's the big barn in that big alleyway that you guys seen with all the stalls. That's another area we'll work. I eventually... He's like, I don't want to work. I eventually want to learn, I want to teach him how to cross tie. We did that in the big barn, and 2 years ago, Rose pulled back so hard, the rope is still stuck there. She snapped it in half. Brand new rope. It's one of, you guys will see a white rope hanging on the round pen fence. It's right there. One of those, brand new, hadn't even been out of the wrapping yet, and she pulled back so hard it busted in half. The owner tried to get it off, I tried to get it off, my grandparents tried to get it off, my mom and my dad tried to get it off. We tried screwdrivers, we tried putty knives, butter knives, and it won't come off. That's how tight she got it. That was 2 years ago, going on 3. Actually, next month it'll be 3 years. So yeah, that's how strong she pulled back. So we're gonna get some inner tube bike tires, or not tire, but inner tubes, and we're gonna tie those to the posts so that if the rope gets tight like that, we can cut the inner tube. Should have did that in the first place, but I was the only one here at that time with my dad, so, and everybody else was out of town, so. Oh, that's hot. Okay, so I'm gonna go hang my coffee up over here, and then I'm gonna grab him. What is he doing? He's running! Stop running! I thought he had some cuts, but it's just rain. Good boy. Good boy. Good man. So I like that. I couldn't get his nose completely scooped, so he backed up for me and gave me his head. Good boy. And his hair needs brushed out. I don't know if you guys can see that. Put your head down. Put your head down here. Wait, I don't want to put my head down. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's going to be fun later, especially with him being head side. Oh. He says, I'm tired. I played all over the field all night. Now I gotta work. Okay, so I gotta figure out where you guys can see. If I can angle it that way, maybe. So I can focus. There. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't fall. So, another thing is I will long line him before I ever get on him. If you guys are gonna long line, I'm gonna keep it short because I don't want to mention names. If you guys are going to long line your horses, make sure you can rub all over their butt and you can cut a rope all over their butt. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So, if I couldn't do this without him freaking out, I would not long line him. I can rub all over his butt and bring the rope around. He knows as soon as that rope comes around to turn. But I also want him to stand. But he knows as soon as that rope comes around to move his butt. I don't want him to move his butt right now. He's a little worried because of the rain on the roof. Which he shouldn't be. He lives out here. It's hard to get after him for that because I've taught him as soon as that rope touches your butt, you need to move. So, do I correct him and make him tense to move, or do I just kind of work with it until he stands there? I'm going to work with it until he stands there. Horses have good days and bad days, just like we do. We'll all sit there and act like, oh my god, he's fine with this, and the second that you want to show it, he's not fine with it. He's not afraid of it. He just knows that, oh my gosh, when this touches my butt, I need to move. So, we just gonna get sensitized. He did very good. I think you guys can see that. So he's not by any means afraid of the rope. If he'd be going forward, the line's completely loose up here. I'm just holding it up against the stomach. I'm making sure I can touch his stomach, his back, rub over him, rub on his butt. Good. There, I didn't even actually ask him to pick up his leg, and he picked it up. I know you guys can see. So we're still working. I wouldn't say he's ready to be long lined. I know he's not ready to be long lined. Good. Now that I actually like. Some people say he's trying to kick me. No, he's figured out if he doesn't pick up his leg, he has to work. And then he's figured out, oh, well, every time I don't want to lift up my leg, I just have to go in circles, so I'll just automatically go in a circle. He figured out that way he has to go in more circles and back up more. So now he's starting to stand there, and as soon as I run my hand down his leg, he starts to pick it up. Eventually, I'll want him to wait until I get to a certain point to pick up his leg, like down to his knee or his ankle. But as for right now, I'm going to reward that because he's thinking, oh, she's touching my leg, I need to lift. So, but I don't want like a little kid to be brushing his leg or something and then he lifts it up and then, oh my god, the horse tried to kick you. You know how some people are. So, he's very soft in the turn. I'm going to go on this side, make sure I can touch all over his stomach. Flapping around. He's like, can I just eat? I'll rub his leg, rub his butt. Now that, I'm going to keep my hand here. There. So, I know you guys couldn't see. Come here. But, as soon as I went to pick up, he lifted it, but he lifted it in a jerking motion. So, I didn't even have to touch his leg. I just kept my hand there until he picked it up softly and put it back down softly instead of jerking it. I didn't even have to touch his leg. So, I'm going to actually move you guys so that I can show you what he's doing. I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I tried to install that video editor that I had again, and it won't let me do any more voiceovers. I don't know what's going on with that. So, okay. I think we're going to have to go over there. Thank you. So just watch what he does with his leg. There. So right there, I almost picked up and swatted him on the butt because he picked it up, but then as soon as I went to reach for it, he kicked out sideways, and that was a kick out to say leave my foot alone. But I just grabbed it and held on. When he stopped kicking, I let it down. That's when you have to be careful because that time he did try to kick out. Did he do it aggressively or continuously? No, he just kind of gave me a warning, and I just said, alright, you want to act like that, then I'm going to hold it until you quit. He says, I just want to finish my breakfast. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. You have all day to eat your breakfast. Look at that pouty face. Somebody should, like, screenshot this and put, like, some kind of caption about him being grumpy about his breakfast. If you do, send it to Keisha Flanagan on Facebook. Alright, let's go back and do the other leg. And we'll do the front too. Good boy. Back up. Good boy. Oh. I don't even know if you guys can see. I'm bringing forward a little bit. Good boy. That I like. If you compare those two, that I liked better. He picked it up and he held it. I didn't even have to touch it. I just touched down by his knee. He held it there. The other leg, he kind of jerked around and said, please don't touch that leg. So let's pick up the front. Good boy. Now soon I'll start to pick out his legs. Soon I'll start to pick out his hoofs. This is very good to do it. Hey. In a tight space. You never know how much room you're going to have. So right there, I asked him to turn his butt and stand, and he said, I don't want to. I want to go around you. So I just kind of gave him a little tap. Said, please come back where I'm asking you to. He did. There. So his backing issue, the way I'm going to work with that is I'm going to just kind of bump. There. He backed. I'm going to stop. Bump. He backed. I stopped. Bump. He backed. I stopped. So, his backing issue, I think, is more my issue. I think I'm trying to film the video, and I think I'm trying to film the video, and I'm not really paying attention. I'm just trying to make sure everything's in the video, and make sure I do it in a certain amount of time. And so I think I'm just kind of going in a little too rough and not giving him the opportunity to do it soft. So that's me needing to work on myself, and that's me recognizing I need to work on myself. Instead of blaming the horse, at first I said his backing issue. But I just figured out his backing issue isn't his issue, it's mine. Let me grab my coffee. What are you doing? I haven't even done anything. So if you guys are wanting to do training videos, or heck, any video, where you work with your horses, what I've learned quite a bit since I've worked with the girls. But I told you guys I have to watch my videos back, because if I don't, sometimes the picture is really, really grainy and the video won't show up at all. We'll put this back. And so before I put them up, I watch them, or I'll upload them and then I'll go back and watch them. And I've learned a lot of things that, oh, Keisha, you should have done it a little slower. You should have done it this way. You should have tried this before you did that. And it's making me a better trainer in that way. I say trainer with the air quotes because this is only the third horse. I mean, there's people out there who've trained 60 or 70 horses. They wouldn't even consider themselves a trainer yet. They would just consider themselves green. So, I'm really green. So, we're going to do more backing up. You can see he's coming a lot better on the lead line. Now I'm going to just hold, release, hold, release, hold, release, hold, hold. Good. So that time I didn't have to bump. I'm going to bring him forward. Let him stop and think. Now I'm going to try shaking the rope. The reason I'm trying all these different things is when I first got on Rose and Skyla, I could back them up really, really calmly and quietly on the ground. But under saddle, they wouldn't back up the same way. So I had to do a couple of different techniques to figure out which, until they were broke more, which they would respond to better. So would it be better to seesaw them? Would it be better to pull and hold? Some horses will brace against you when you pull and hold, and then they'll try and lay down with you. So is it better to wiggle the rein? So if this was the rein right now, for him, this is a one rein. So it's not going to be like a bit. Is it better for him to pull back? He's not responding it. Is it better to seesaw? Yes. Is it better to kind of pop? And yes. So, oops, I'm sorry about that. So I just think it's good to have a couple of different ways to do things, because you never know how they're going to respond under saddle. Some horses freeze, some horses, come here, thank you, some horses bolt and buck, some just go off like they're an old broke trail horse. So just, I don't know, People want it done a certain way. Well, you know what? The horse isn't a machine. I think you should cater to something that they want sometimes. Sometimes I'll let them pick the direction and I pick the speed, or they pick the speed and I pick the direction. They have to have some freedom. They're not machines. Alright. Flexing. I guess I could do it this way. Be careful if you're doing it in walls. I know he could bolt, so I'm not going to get up against the wall. Ask him over. A little bit more. Thank you. Okay, so for flexing, I throw the rope over, and if this way doesn't work, I have another way. Here I have to be careful and stand out a little bit, because if he goes to turn, he's right up against the wall. So I can't stand exactly where I need to be. I'm going to bump, bump. See what I mean? I'm just going to hold until he stands still. There. I don't automatically ask for their entire head. So the other way I teach it, yes, you're doing so good, is I throw the rope over, stand here at the side, pay attention because they can swing their hip, get the rein a little tight, and just bump, bump, bump a little more. He's not giving me his head, so I'll kind of swing the rope a little. Nope, there. So this is why you stand back. I didn't want him to move completely, but he did move completely. But I'm not going to punish him for it because he kept his head in. I didn't want him to move completely, but that's all right. We'll get there. But that's the ways I teach it. I'm going to ask him for his head. I'm going to bump there. Good boy. Good boy. Can I have more of your head, please? There. Good boy. I wish you guys could touch him. He's so soft. Most horses in the summer are really, really slick. He's like really, really soft. He's not even slick. He's still got quite a bit of hair. Oh, that was really good. I barely picked that up. Good boy. Now, I'm not keeping his head here. If you guys can see, the whole rein is loose. He can take his head back straight if he wants. Another way you can do it, if your horse is more food motivated, you can bring a cookie out and kind of make him do a stretch with a carrot stretch or an apple, some honey, some grain. Now, I'd eventually like his nose in more. So here, I'm going to switch hands and I'm just going to hold. And there, he gave a little bit, so I'm going to release. Good man. Good boy. There, good boy. I was just going to say, I want him to get comfortable where he puts his head down. And he did. So, we're going to go on the other side. Yield his butt. Now, I'm going to push his front end over. Good boy. So, if he stands a certain way, you can see his ribs. But other than that, he's pretty fat. I wouldn't say fat, but he's got a good weight on him. So, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see better this way or worse. Hopefully he stands there. Nope. Again, if I got after him for every little thing he did wrong, he wouldn't trust me. Could I get after him for that? Yeah. But when I call him in the field, is he going to want to come? No, because last time he followed me, he got in trouble. So, let's see how light I can pick up. Keep it there. So I like their nose to be kind of parallel to their shoulder, or in a straight line from their shoulder in the beginning, and then I'll release. You're so good. Now I'm going to release a little bit of rope on the back, let it hang. I'm going to pick up a little further back, and I'm just going to bump a little there. If you guys watch the nose band and watch how little it bumps. Good. There, I'm not even pulling. Good boy. Good boy. I didn't even tug, pull, bump, anything right there. Good boy. So let me know if you guys want more little videos like this, except I'll try not to talk as much. That's why I wanted to do the voiceovers, because I wouldn't talk as much. But this, I want to make sure I cover everything. That's okay. He's yielding his butt. I'm going to be careful here because he's up against the feeder. And I'm just going to kind of hold some pressure. There, he gave. So I'm going to release and walk away. Some horses will bolt forward when they touch that. Others won't. Come here. So, I forgot what else I said I was going to do. I know you guys are probably in, well, you said this, but I can't hear you, but thank you. I guess we'll do a little bit more backing. And I teach them to go sideways. So the way you do that, if your horse is okay with a comfortable, tight space, you can kind of use your environment. So here I've got the feeder, here I've got the wall. I'm just going to stand at the shoulder, and he's pooping. I'm going to let him poop. I'm going to take the end of my rope and just swing towards the middle of his body. And then whatever side after that he needs to move over, I'm going to swing towards that. So I'm swinging, clucking, clucking, swinging. He's not going, so I'm going to give him a little tap. There. There. Now, is he going perfectly sideways? No. But does it work? Yes. You have to start somewhere. If they're like him, where they don't like to go perfectly sideways, okay, if I do it this way, he has to go at an angle because of the feeder. So I'm going to ask. I want that shoulder over. He's not giving it to me. There. So you notice I held his head there, because if I hadn't, he would have straightened out. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, we're going to do some backing up again. I'm going to see if I can do it clear down here and just kind of wiggle. And he does. Good boy. And we're going to go a little further this time. I'm going to yield his butt. There. Ask for a straight back up. Good boy. Backing up. Backing up builds up their butt muscles. So the more you do, the better. That's why I want them to learn how to back up on something. We were out on the reason I want them, I don't know if I told the story. The reason I want them to know how to back up onto stuff, I was out on a trail when my aunt bought my horse Frazier. You know, I'm not a big trail rider. I'm an arena rider and a mountain rider. A mountain like ours, not like an actual mountain trail. But I was out there and I was riding with somebody who was related to my aunt. And I'd never ridden with her before. And Frazier had never been in that area before. And Frazier's the type of horse that if he's in a new area, he needs to be shown the whole area first. Did my aunt let me do that? At the time I was underage, so I had to listen. So no, she didn't let me do that. She just threw me on and said, go ride or we're taking the horse home. Whatever. So we go for this ride. And of course, this girl takes me to the highest point on Mount Emily Mountain. Okay, on the horse trail. You know the horse trail over here. The ditch is probably this wide, maybe wider, and it's about 3 or 4 feet deep. In the middle of that ditch, they have a bridge, or you can teach your horse how to go down into the ditch at a walk and up and through the ditch at a walk, which I think is a really good thing to do, and some horses will jump it. So we go over the ditch, and I wanted him to walk down and through, but like I said, Frazier's the type of horse that wants to be shown everything on the ground first. She wouldn't let me. So we go on this bridge, and it's just like a normal pallet. It's not that wide. And he slips, and we hadn't left the entire, we weren't in the middle yet. There was still some footing. So he had his one leg on the bridge, one leg halfway on the ditch, and halfway off, kind of teeter-tottering. We were on the edge, and it's not wide. So he had his back end on the pallet, kind of shaking because it's not that wide. So I had to back him up, and just getting him to back up that 1 foot, back up onto that bridge, and then to back up straight, and then go forward so that we weren't hanging off with his back end, was a lot of work. So I think it's important to teach him how to back up onto things. You never know what's going to happen. I had that horse for, I think it was 10 years, and now my aunt's owned him for 6, so 16 years pretty much. And I've only had to back him up 2 or 3 times onto something, but I wish somebody had taught him at a younger age how to do it. You never think about it, but you never know. So, tail. I'm sorry I talk too much, guys. I hope it doesn't annoy you. I think he enjoys it because you don't have to do anything. Alright, it might cut off, and we're going to do some more flexing, and if it cuts off, we'll see you in the next video, and let me know if you want to see more little videos like this without my blabber mouth. Move him over. There. I'd like him to stand. There. Good boy. Throw the rope over. Just going to pick up. So now I'm going to get after him here and there. Not every single time, but here and there. Move your butt. There. I want him to flex, not to spin. If I wanted him to spin, the rope would be on his butt. There, good boy. So you notice when I got after him, all I did was circle him and place him back. You don't always have to get after him like I did in the last video, popping on his butt. Sometimes it's a little necessary. People, oh, you should never hit a horse. Well, what about a horse that bites you? I've seen a lot of people let a horse bite them and then they go love on them afterwards, and it's like, that horse should have been popped in the mouth and taught no. Horses can leave a big, nasty, gashing bite on you. So can dogs. Good boy. But I don't think a horse should bite. Hey, where you going? He's like, I'm done with this. You got another minute before the video stops. We're gonna do some backing up. Good boy. So again, even if you guys aren't trainers, I would still film your videos, even if you're not gonna post them. Film them and watch them when you're a little cooler if something happened, and you'll start to figure out some of them issues. Yeah, some of it's the horse, but some of the issues, like me backing up with him, I was applying too much pressure without asking. I would just demand instead of ask. So I figured that out just by one video. So yeah. Anyways. Alright, I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope one of you takes a picture of that face that he had and sends it to me.